Halloween is almost here. That time of the year when we put on costumes, go to parties, and kids ask for candies. But what indeed is Halloween? I'm Kirisaki Jackie, and let me tell you a story. The origin of Halloween starts 2,000 years ago with the Celtic festival of Samhain, or Samhain, celebrated at the night of October 31, just before the new year in November 1st. It was the mark of the end of the summer and harvest, and the beginning of the long dark nights and cold winter, a time that was often associated with death. The Celts believed that on that night, the dead could walk freely among us, causing trouble and damaging crops. But not all evil could do the spirits. The Celts thought that their presence made it easier for the priests to see the future and make predictions. For these people living in harsh weather conditions, these prophecies were a source of comfort and gave them a direction during the long and dark winter. For the celebration, Druids would build huge sacred bonfires, where people would burn crops and animals as sacrifices for the Celtic deities. They would also wear costumes based on animal heads and skins to try to read each other's fortunes. The time passed, and the Celtics were conquered by the Roman Empire. During the 400 years under their domain, the Samhain was mixed with other festivals, and with some other traditions and the finger of the Catholic Church, Halloween as we know started to take its form. On May 13 of the year 609 AD, Pope Boniface IV established the All Martyrs' Day in the Western Church, which later was expanded to include All Saints by Pope Gregory III, and moved to November 1st. By the 9th century, Christianity was taken over. In 1000 AD, the Church made November 2nd All Souls' Day in honor of the dead. The celebration was very similar to Samhain, with bonfires and food and costumes, but this time costumes of angels, saints, and devils. All Souls' Day was also called All Hallows, and the night before it started to be referred as All Hallows' Eve, until eventually Halloween. Some other traditions practiced on Halloween came from this All Souls' Day. With the belief that the spirits were wandering around, people would wear masks after dark when leaving their houses to trick the spirits and not being recognized. They would also leave food and wine outside their houses to appease the spirits. The trick-or-treat traditions comes from the early days of All Souls' Day, when poor people in England would go to wealthy houses begging for food in exchange to pray for their family's dead relatives. The families would give them what was called soak cake. This tradition was encouraged by the church to substitute the practice of leaving food for the spirits. The practice called souling or going on a souling was taken by the kids. They would go door to door, and instead of praying for the dead, they would sing a song, read a poem, or perform a trick in exchange for the treats. But what about the pumpkins? Well, that started with the Irish. The practice started with the myth of Stingy Jack. Legend says that Stingy Jack invited the devil to drink with him. In order to pay for the drinks, Jack convinced the devil to turn into a coin. He then put the coin in his pocket together with a cross to seal the devil. He promised to release him if the devil left him alone for a year and did not claim his soul once he dies. A year passed, and then Jack convinced the devil to climb the tree and carved a cross on it. He said he would let the devil go if he left him alone for 10 more years. Problem is, Jack died soon after that, and neither God nor the devil wanted him. So he was sent to wander with nothing but a burning coal to light his path. He put the coal inside a carved turnip and keeps wandering till this day. The tradition to put a light inside of a turnip in front of your doors or in front of a window started to keep Jack away from the houses and also to keep evil spirits away. The Irish would call him Jack of the Lantern, and to be short, Jack-o'-lantern. Originally, jack-o'-lanterns were made of potatoes, turnips, or beets, but when immigrants from England and Ireland went to America, they found out that pumpkins were perfect jack-o'-lanterns. With a mix of all these traditions and cultures, our beloved Halloween came to what it is today. From costumes made of animal heads and skin, and food to appease the evil spirits, to a fun festival with cool costumes, lots of candy, and happy kids. And this concludes my story. Hope you all live happy ever after. See you on the next tale.